Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NH Experience. I have a very special guest once again. I have hip hop royalty on the line and on the airwaves. This man is a native of Carson, California, represents C. Arson, better known as here in Southern California. He is an MC. He is an entrepreneur. This man is definitely a culture creator. He's been in the confines of greatness between Dr. Dre and DJ Quick, Mo Preem from the Outlaws, and several exhibits, several other great MCs in hip hop. And we'll get into his journey, how he became Bishop Lamont, all that and more. Please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the one and only Bishop Lamont. What's going on, good brother? How you doing, man?
Hey man, good to be here, brother. Thank you for the introduction. Good to be looking at you, brother. Good to be seen. Blessed.
Man, it's really great to be seen, especially everything that we've been through in the last 18 months as a society, man. So I'm glad to see you continue to roll. And I'm watching your Instagram, man. I feel like I'm living vicariously through you, man, when it comes to these adventures.
Likewise, man. We just God is good, man. God is good all the time. We happy to be here and happy to be a part of this. And just trying to uplift. Let's give them some good energy. Let's get into it. I'm here for you.
Hey, brother. Well, you know what? Thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedules. I know you got 9 million things that you're doing and definitely elevating the platform. So appreciate you coming on first and foremost. Let's talk a little bit about, we know, pretty much where you are right now, but obviously, like anything else, it takes time, it takes a vision, it takes space, opportunity to get to the point where you are today. What was it like growing up in LA and Southern California? And at what point did you realize hip hop was going to be the vehicle that you were going to utilize to elevate yourself to another plateau?
That's a great question. Man, we talking 80s in Los Angeles. We talking because originally I was born in South Central.
Mm-hmm.
So took the mantle up in Carson to be an MC, but was born in South Central, Cedar Sinai. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Cedar Sinai, but we was off 76 in Crenshaw. So at that time, LA has always been crazy. And going from having a full family unit to going through a divorce at 3 and how that can destroy a family fabric. And then me, my mom, and my brother moving, you know what I mean, quite often, because that's a young Black woman, single parent, having to do everything on her own at that point. So it was tumultuous. Living with my aunt Naomi, living with my granny, rest in peace, until we finally found a spot. So we moved a lot, you know what I'm saying, and surviving the impact of crack in the 80s. It was crazy. Gang violence, the violence of the police, the violence of systemic racism. I mean, we had everything, and so it was a very crazy path to navigate. And always, first and foremost, God got us through that, because there's no way you can do anything on your own. Whatever you want to say, bless, okay. But I know why we came through, and so the whole time there was a soundtrack that would emerge, particularly in African American homes. You got Curtis Mayfield, you got Al Green, you got Gladys Knight and the Pips, you got Donny Hathaway, Stevie Wonder. So those things were already OJs. Bill Withers, Johnny Mathis, Denise Williams, Rose Royce. You already have these things cultivating a love. Isley Brothers, a love of this music, let alone
Mm-hmm.
Parliament, Earth, Wind, and Fire. So that's already beginning to shape it. And I think my brother had either played Too Short or Run DMC, and the rest is going to be our story instead of history. But I think hip hop really impacted my life in the early 80s when we moved to Buena Park. Shouts out to Buena Park, shouts out to Anaheim. The blessing of having to move so much through poverty was that I got to live in so many different environments with so many different varieties of people. So it showed me early on that there was only one life. There's only one people. All this race stuff is nonsense. I saw a post from J. Rooter Damager earlier, and he said, "Look how confused people are about scientific study when we deal with COVID and all the nonsense that's going on." He said, "People
Mm-hmm.
can't even get people's colors right. How is this black when this is black? You know what I'm saying? This is brown. This is that. It's like, let's get just the human beings." And so that's what back then it taught me, was that everywhere I went, especially in the 80s, Orange
Mm.
County, Orange County, Anaheim, Buena Park in particular was very racist. We lived across the street from Knott's Berry Farm on Crescent Ave. I went to a middle school, no, a elementary school called Dysinger, and
Mm.
every other day it was a fight, a nigger and a white. You understand? And I think it was about 20 to 25 African American students there. Only 5 to 10 of them wanted to be proud of who they were and accept being that. So we would be fighting every other day. But the beauty was supposedly white friends, Asian friends, whatever you want to call people,
Mm.
we all fought together against racism. Then when we, get on the school bus drivers would be racist and take us off the buses to put white students on. This is what you experience. So then trying to walk home through these bad neighborhoods and with the racist gangs out there at the time, just everything that was there, we saw a lot. And so that really started to shape the impact of how important it was to fight against this kind of thing, to use your voice, to use your everything. And that really started to hit home with the emergence of Public Enemy for me. Um, man, X Clan, Brother Jay is just so, oh man, that's just another world. But we'll just stay on Chuck D, Public Enemy. That just showed KRS One. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the things that shaped me, and so I had no choice but to get in hip hop. Sorry, I'll get lost in the experience, but just making my way through life as a child and being juxtaposed between the streets and church and music, art, education, it really gave me a better, broader scope of what was out there for me. And my mom, thankfully working for Western Airlines at the time, allowed an inner city kid. Remember when before it became Delta, it was Western
Right.
Airlines. Remember
Right.
when Zodi's was still around?
Bro, it's funny you say that because my mom worked for Delta and my pops worked for Western. So that's like that's crazy that you say that. But anyway.
We connected. So being able to go from the inner city to see Vancouver, British Columbia, and
Right.
Hawaii, and the Grand Canyon, and wherever she could take us, showed me that there was something outside of these city limits. And we got to go to the beach and put our feet in the water. We got to see that there was more. We got to go to Big Bear. We got to go to whatever forest, whatever it was. She showed us something greater, and that really helped broaden my scope. And then I got into martial arts early on
Mm.
in Carson. I mean, let alone through The Last Dragon. Shouts out to Ty Mack because The Last Dragon, Barry Gordy for that. The Last Dragon had such impact. I was watching Bruce Lee movies, Jackie Chan movies, Sammo, whatever it was, just like the Wu-Tang culture. But there was just something about The Last Dragon, rest in peace, Vanity, Seventh Heaven. Like that's when it became real. It was like, yo, like martial arts, the music, hip hop, and then there's NWA, there's Wu Tang. But just to make it short, so many of these different arts just really impacted me. But I was blessed to see it coming up and had the wherewithal to go, I want to devote my life to something greater than myself. I don't want to be just like anybody else. That's kind of how it started. Long ass answer. Excuse the potty mouth. But yeah. That's how it started for me, man. Just it was wild, and I remember living in the pueblos, and when the train stopped there, and when they were getting stuff, it's so much that I saw. You know what I'm saying? I saw it all. I saw a lot. I saw the Rodney King thing. I saw the
Hmm.
Reginald Denny thing. That was right down the street from us. I saw a lot. You know what I mean? It's crazy what we survived. So it's everything for us to celebrate our lives and share what we've learned for the next generations to come, and even us to just share and go, guess what? Celebrate yourself, because to be alive is a gift right now, especially right now when you look at the culmination of everything that makes the entirety of our lives and our understanding. We have to be so grateful for that, because the sum total of our experience makes us good or bad. And so that's what I want to make sure we emphasize, and we never try to avoid and try to downplay. We have dealt with a lot as human beings on this planet. since the beginning, and especially now. So I'm very conscious of that. And it's so important to have more outreach like this and conversations that can be impactful and helpful to everybody, because everybody's special, but ain't nobody special. Because God is good to all of us if we choose to participate in that way. Everybody has a sliver of divinity. So no one is above anybody, except in their stats of trying to make the world better for each other. If anybody should get clout and love, it should be for who's trying to elevate the quality, the condition of all life everywhere, and not for selfish reasons or selfish gain. It's just to be like, I see people smiling, I see people eating, I see people doing better. That's all I want.
Hey man, well said, man. I can dig it. So let me ask you this question. How did the name Bishop Lamont come about? Why choose that name, and how did that name come about? And you just, I mean, you wrote, you continue to write it out. I mean, you really, it seemed like you really strategized and really built that brand to where it is right now.
It wasn't, you know what? It's so funny because we never remember when we didn't say brand and these kind of things.
I know,
We
right?
was just keeping it real. We was just us. So I never thought in brand terms because I'm just me. You know what I mean? If I could rap as Philip Brandon Martin, I would have been Philip Brandon Martin. But Bishop came along as a direct result of my auntie being a minister, me being in the comic books. The Juice movie came later, or whatever the weirdness. But it was so funny because my aunt was like, "You're supposed to be in the church. You're supposed to be." My aunt Faye, blessings, as well as my aunt Cheryl, said there was always a calling on my life. There's an anointment. There's already my steps have already been anointed. So, but I always found hypocrisy in the church. I always was let down by people in that regard. So I didn't want to be in the church. I wanted to be in the streets.
I hear
Um,
that.
a OG of mine, a great spiritual advisor for me, my big homie Bishop Williams, always advises me in these ways, and we converse at times because I'll come by the church and see him, and I try to bring brothers through, especially from the streets with all the gang violence. And we had a great conversation one night after Bible study, and I said, "Yo," because he was talking about, get the brothers to come in. And I said, "My street guys feel almost hypocritical wanting to come into church, so I'd rather meet them where they are, and we'll have church in the streets because where there's two or three and they speak of the Most High, the Spirit is present." And so that's the energy for the bishop thing. Let me serve God. Let me serve the Spirit through the best way I know how, without it being misconstrued or confused, or there being agendas or division between the different religions. Whatever road you choose to lead you to the Most High, I'm with that. Me, his little brother Bean, Goldie Loke, his cousin Creep Dog, rest in peace. Hit. I don't want to forget nobody's names, but we was all kids in Snoop's garage in Claremont when he used to live in Claremont in the cul-de-sac. All the cats know that's gonna hear this, gonna know what time it is. But Bing, shouts out to Pretty Tony, his little brother. We used to do our demos in his garage where they had the refrigerator, and the Snoop had a studio in the house. So we the little homies excited. Battle Cat be in there, Trady, Lady of Rage, everybody come through. They come outside, Snoop come get a beer, fuck with us. What you little niggas out here doing? You know what I mean? And at the time, we was real hip hop, so it was a hybrid of West Coast shit meets East Coast, and most predominantly, it was really Wu Tang for me. Shouts out to Wu Tang. So he'd be like, "What are y'all niggas, Blue Tang?" And shouts out to the big homie, little half dead, big half dead. He'd be like, "What you niggas? Blue Tang, cuz get out here with that rapidy rap." But it was so much fun because they gave us the inspiration. One day, Snoop was high, heard us rhyming, and he was just hype on me. He was like, "You remind me of the little homie, little homie. You remind me of the homie Lamont. Your name Bishop Lamont, cuz it's Snoop Dogg, of course. Now I'm Bishop Lamont. Ain't gonna be no argument. I ain't French, but fuck it." Snoop said Bishop Lamont, or I would have been just Bishop. But that's how it happened. But we spent years. Up there in Claremont, being a fly on the wall, watching Snoop make some of his best music, watching Daz, watching Corrupt, watching Nate, watching Warren, you know what I mean? And then eventually being there with Dre, you know what I mean? So that was pretty much how it all went down to become Bishop Lamont, because I was always there. Or I was doing stunt work on videos, thanks to my big homies, Usani Lam, my high school and childhood friend Kofi Alam. They were some of the, still are, some of the premier black men in television and film at the time. So I was just watching. I got the hookup last night. Rest in peace to AJ Johnson. And it was so crazy getting that news. But I got to work on I got the hookup. And I'm in that movie. That's my first big movie, and that's thanks to Master P. That's thanks to Julius LaFleur. That's thanks to Usani Lam. That's thanks to a lot of brothers down there on the set. And it was those kind of inclusions that just made it so beautiful. I've been in this for a long time. You know what I mean? Like I even got to work on the F. Gray TV show, rappelling off the side of a building, doing stunt work. You didn't even know it was little old me. But yeah, it's been a journey, man, and I'm so grateful. It's interesting how people, you know, they'll try to paint you as one thing, but when you pay your dues, I mean, I was even doing production assistant work on Hype Williams videos. I got to be a driver for Clive Davis, pick him up at Universal Studios and take him to the set. I was a PA for Whitney Houston. Like I got to be there, man. Wyclef, like I got to see a lot of fly things firsthand, and so it's been an awesome journey, and it's just trying to give people that information because a lot of people truncate their journey and make you think it was just A and B, and it equaled that. It takes a greater devotion inside yourself to believe in yourself, to know that you're enough when people say you aren't or say you don't got it. And so that's what it's been for me, and I want to make sure I'm more vocal at this point to give people what I was giving them then. I give them more of now when we started the New West, and that was like, you can do this too. You don't have to play their games. You don't have to subscribe to the way they want to do things. There was always another way, especially when you want to do it the right way. And so now with the way technology is and just the knowledge out there and the ability of people, I want people to really focus on that and stop thinking they're so limited, especially in these times in society where they're trying to, by design, whatever. I don't want to get in specifics with that, but we can look at society and see that there are less and less opportunities for real growth and wealth and health and education and stability in our world at this point. And the more that we hurry past these issues and don't address them in our own communities with each other, we'll never be able to resolve them. So that's where I'm at. I want to create more revenue, more charity, more awareness through the music, more community, more action, man. It's not enough action right now, personally.
Absolutely, man. You know what? The one thing I will say, man, when the first time I heard about you was when the New West was starting to kick off back in the day. It was you, it was G Malone, obviously several other artists,
A lot.
but you guys were like the figureheads almost, as it were, when it came to that.
Yeah.
How did you and G Malone connect? And then I also heard a crazy story.
What's the crazy story?
And confirm this for me. You guys got on set, like just chin check whoever to get the golf cart, got on set where Dre was, and that's how you guys were able to get the CD that you guys were doing to Dre.
Okay,
that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Now you clear it up for me. No. I didn't hear about any violence. It was just like y'all got on the cart, y'all swerved. You were so determined. No. Y'all went ahead and saw the cart that was sitting there. It was like we gonna make this happen. And I loved it because it was the level of determination that you guys had at the time was remarkable. And that's why I wanted you to really tell that story, because I feel like people can really be inspired just off the determination that you guys shown at that time to get to that point.
Okay, so I want to make sure I don't want to revision this history. I want to remember that day because it's ignorant. Shouts out to my man DJ Rampage. DJ Rampage, I think, drove me to Sony. Well, I forget what studio is this. It's over there in Culver City on the backside. I forget. I can see it clearly. And 50 Cent was shooting a video there with Game, and Kanye West was supposed to be there. And through a mutual friend, he let me know that Common had been playing my stuff for Kanye, and Kanye was interested in me and Gorilla Black, I think, at the time. Remember Gorilla Black? Shouts out to Gorilla Black. And so I was like, fuck it, we'll go down there. Like, fuck it, take a risk. And because I already knew 50, I knew Shy Money from being up at Interscope, just hustling in the streets, Buzz is getting up. So I'm like, once we get in, we're going to be good. Let's go for it. And so I think Glasses was already up there with Game. And me and Rampage came to the front. We wasn't on the list or nothing, but remember, you got to have the confidence. You got to know you're supposed to be there. You got to know it. Don't doubt it. Every fiber in your being got to be tuned to that energy. Like we meant to be here. So when we pull up, he got the little bends or whatever. So it looked like it's something official, like, yeah, rap. Okay, we got the look. And I don't know how we got past them, but I had that confidence. I had that energy, like, we're going to do this. And my man brave enough to take this with me. Like, think about it. It's so important, the people that you surround yourself with first. If they don't believe in you, like you believe in you, you're already going to lose if you're depending on them to give you that energy. So you need people who may even believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And that's where you'll find the real proving ground to push yourself to a higher level. So in that moment, here come Glasses. However, I was talking fast. Glasses stole that golf cart, hopped in that bitch, ran from security, got to set. I remember Wanda Sykes was down there. Shouts out to Wanda Sykes. I remember Jennifer Lopez was down there shooting somewhere else. So it was a lot of security and shit. Excuse my French. But we got through. And once we got to set, we hit out. I see Game. I see his mom, Lynette. Shouts out to Lynette. Big face down there. We safe now. Oh, yeah. And we just fit in and started eating craft service and kicked it, man. And Kanye wasn't there for whatever reason. I think it was the Dreams video. Yeah, it was for the Dreams video that Kanye produced for him, but he didn't show up. And I was like, damn, we took these risks. We got to do something to make up for it. Who I see come out the trailer wherever he walked from, it was Dre. I just did it just to do it. I wasn't tripping off Dre like that. Love, but it's like, let's make it worth something. It's all these little hot tenders down here. This is the mindset of a 20-something-year-old. So it's stupid. You know what I mean? Hormones. You want to be cool. I got my G units on. I'm 40 Cent because me and 50 look similar back then. So I'm telling motherfuckers I'm 40 Cent. Same dad, different moms. It's all kind of bullshit, but it worked. If you see, shouts out to 50. Who Kid, like everybody, Yayo, like everybody over this is 50. Ian, like it's too many cats from back then. All my cats from Jamaica, Queens. Wow. But we on set now. Can't nobody tell me nothing. So I see the girls watching me, everybody watching me. The big homie Delaney is standing there. Who that was our entertainment at the time with Jimmy Henchman and all them, because they were trying to sign me too. All this was going on at the same time because behind the scenes, they actually wanted me to be Game's hype man on stage for the documentary album. It was a lot going on. So it was wild. But anyway, last demo, give it to Dre. He like, yo, if it's dope, I'm gonna call you. I'm about to go home, have dinner with my wife, but if it's dope, I'm hearing this nigga like, word. Okay, but it's the way we talking, it looked like we just did a big deal. And I guess we did. But everybody looking like, and he's so real though. He like, yo, your number on here? And I'm like, yes, but I don't think this nigga's gonna listen to it. And then damn, a couple of months later, he went on the radio. Shouts out to Big Boy. Happy belated birthday. Everybody over there power know what time it is. And I almost crashed the car that day. He said, I've been listening to this guy. I'm trying to find him. I want to sign him. I almost crashed my car when he said my name. But it took that to go, we gonna take all the risk. We weren't being disrespectful, but we were taking the risk that might have got us arrested or at least fined. But fuck it. What is more important? Going after what your heart of hearts desires, what you dream of, what you can't be without, or being scared? Go for what you love. It'll reward you if you've done the work. There's no shortcuts to it, but there is this thing of spirit and just complete faith and belief. And if you can visualize it, it's yours. It's when you can't see something. How can you get to it if you can't see it? But I can see everything. I had to visualize in my mind. I had to feel what I wanted. I had to really talk to myself and say, what is it for me in life that I want to do? And then go after it sincerely. And I invite everybody to that task to understand, first off, you have to realize that you're worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Realize you're worthy.
Yeah.
The minute you take away worthiness of whatever endeavor you have, you will never achieve it to its fullest potential because you think it's worth more than you, and you are not capable of it. You are capable of anything you put your mind to, including failure. So all the success is yours, and that pretty much cemented my mentality. You have to have vision. You have to have the wherewithal to be devoted to the idea and to keep modifying the idea, advancing the idea, but also always being true to yourself. If it doesn't feel right, it ain't right. If there's any doubt, it's wrong. Always trust your gut. And that's how we move. And that pretty much has always kept me uh blessed. You know what I mean? Like I can't take credit for
Yeah.
anything except that I open my mind and heart to it. And that as hard headed as I fucking am, excuse me, to this very day, I'll get it honest from my father. But as stubborn as I am, it's only because I'm passionate about what I believe in and the truth. But the moment I hear truth, I accept it instantly. I would never deny any truth, but you have to be staunch in your own faith in yourself. The minute you let people recreate you, redefine you, or define you, you have lost the power in your own narrative. And I say that to every creative, every being listening to this, seeing this, you have to know who you are and adhere to that. And by adhere to that, you have to be true to you. And when you're true to you, you'll be true to everybody else. Because the moment you don't lie to yourself, you won't lie to nobody else. And that takes deep soul searching. That takes reflection. That takes looking in the mirror and going, I'm beautiful. I am everything I need to succeed in this world. God doesn't make any mistakes. Or if you don't believe in God, so be it. But you're here for a purpose, and what you going to do with it? Do the best with it. Don't let nobody take it away from you. Your heartbeat beats so strongly for you nonstop. Be grateful. Go. Get yours. I want to see people shining. That's it. Anything else is
Hey.
nonsense. That's just people trying to control people, be cookie lickers. Misery loves company. No, happiness loves company. I want to see more people happy.
Dude, don't we all, man? I mean, when you look at
Message.
hello, when you look at and plus too, like the one thing I will say, one of the things I admired about you, man. When I remember, I don't know, and you hopefully you remember this. You had a concert at the House of Blues,
Yeah.
and I recall, and I've never seen this happen before, and I've been to a few concerts in my lifetime.
Thank you for being there.
Hey man, thank you for having it. But the one thing I will say, you came by everybody in line and shook everybody's hand, told them thank you. There was a guy, I think two guys ahead of me, that did this poster or this drawing of you with Diocese, because that was your label at the
Yeah.
time. And you had came out, you had just dropped a brand new mixtape.
Yeah.
And I think they redid the cover or did something, some type of artwork that they did for you. And dude, the way you sat there and talked to them for at least about 5 to 7 minutes, and you thought they had just met like Michael Jackson, and I'm not diminishing who you are, but I'm saying like you thought
That's Michael Jackson. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying, like you, and then the way you touched them in that way, and then you came down, you shook everybody's hand. Myself, it was me and my homeboy, we were there together, and you shook our hands. Shout out to my homeboy Brian, because that's who was there with me.
Thank you, Brian.
And you went down the line, bro, before you went on stage. And we were like, whoa, like this dude. And we both said to each other, this dude gets it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, he about to blow. Like this dude is about to blow.
Yeah.
Because not only did you have the lyrical skills and the presence, but you knew how to interact and deal with the people and the fans. And
All you
that's
care
something we
about is
hadn't
the
seen.
people.
You
All
had
you
we
care
hadn't
about
seen
is the
that.
people. Yeah. That was a beautiful night. I'm so glad you was there. I've forgotten so many of those moments because when you were doing it, you
Mm-hmm.
don't realize it because it's just me being me. And when I saw that line around the corner and up the hill at House of Blues for the first time being at House of Blues for myself with everybody else that we put together, Warren G, I think Exhibit. I forget all the cats that was there. I was just trying to make sure
I
everybody
think
came
DJ
out.
Warrior too was. I think he may have been one of
Yeah,
the. Yeah.
just unity, man. And I had to come up there and see everybody and shake everybody's hand because it meant the world to me. It always will. I do it for the people. It's for the people. So that, thank you for remembering that. That's what it means to me. If there's no true connection, if you can't look your people in their eyes, hug them, shake their hands, and say thank you for helping your dream, have fuel, have substance, be validated by everyone's presence. What the fuck are you doing? How can any artist be an artist without the eyes, the words, the hearts, the money? the wherewithal to support it, and that comes
Mm-hmm.
from the fans. You can't be shit without the people. So
True.
I never understood that. That's why when I see people disrespecting their fans or how they extensions of yourself, we all soul siblings. So when I see people rocking with me and enjoying my music, they're my soul siblings. So I'm never gonna steer you wrong. It's gotta be right. And I'm always thinking about them. So for me at every turn in this career, I can call it a career now because it's just been my life. I finally understood it's a business. I never cared about the business. The business for me is the souls. The
Mm-hmm.
currency is souls. We're here to impact lives, uplift lives, change lives, save lives, inspire people to save each other's lives. And that's it. Everything else would be a bonus. And so that's my energy. And that's why that was so important at House of Blues and every show we did. It was always about giving other artists opportunities. I look at individuals like Martin Lawrence. We can go further back in comedy. We can look at Robert Townsend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, these brothers, even Keenan, um, these brothers continue to put other brothers on. Martin Lawrence put other brothers on. Eddie Murphy put other brothers on. Martin Lawrence never gets the credit for all the brothers he put on. Continue to hire, continue to give opportunities to. That's what this has always been about for me, because there's always someone that will come after. This
Mm-hmm.
is for you now, but who will continue to carry the torch and continue the movement? And as a leader, you need more leaders.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
don't create leaders. I only want to see more leaders. As much as I'm a leader, I'm a follower. And that's why I understood when it's time to command a unit, I can command a unit. When it's time to follow orders within a unit, I can do that as well. And that's what really helped the New West and what we have now. Because at that time, back then, when we were writing on detox and stuff, like I love it because people don't know how much we did and how much I was involved in, but I never wanted to say anything about it. But here we have the early days of TDE. And, I used to see Top Dog all the time at Warner Brothers, and J Rock and all these cats. And their studio was right in Carson on the other side of Dominguez University. So Glass would be over there some days. I come over there and see him. But anyway, we were doing detox at the time. And Top Dog, I'd hit him and I said, I'd like to get J Rock and Kendrick, whatever, Kate out at the time, and they rolled up, and it was great because I love to see where Kendrick's going. He was sitting on the floor in the studio just chilling while we were working on songs. That's a great young man. To see Absol, to see all these, to see Soundwave. I used to pick up Soundwave from his mom's crib and take him to the studio. You know what I mean? To see the success of these brothers at TDE and elsewhere is what means the most to me, because that's what I was out for. Brother Still was there, Glasses, Problem, Terrace, DJ Quick, Battle Cat, Sugar Free, Strong Arm Steady Gang, Crooked. And this was back when
Mm-hmm.
Crooked was still Death Row and nobody wanted to deal with Crooked. I'm like, man, Crooked is the truth. We need Crooked on this record.
Man, for
So
real.
I reached out to Crooked. This before Slaughterhouse, all that. I didn't give a fuck about that. Suge ain't never had no problem with me. I ain't got no problem with Suge. Suge see me, he show me love. Cause I'm a street square. I'm a street rectangle. I ain't with the nonsense. And so I don't want anybody to be restricted from the culture and how
Right.
important it is. And so we had everybody working on detox. You know what I mean? And so that's always been my thing behind the scenes. I don't want the credit for it. I just want to see more people shine. I want to see more industry happen, more opportunities happen, more money, more opportunities. And so that's all. And I love looking back at that. So thank you. Like I don't, if you say it, then it wasn't done for the right reasons. But I appreciate it when brothers speak on it like, yo, I remember when you did so and so. Because you do blessings not to be reminded of them or to get cookies or something. It's just like that's what we're supposed to do for each other.
Bro, you have definitely made an impact. I mean, I remember one of the coldest songs that you made, man, and a lot of it shook up some folk that you were speaking to, and that was "Grow Up," because the
Yeah,
lyrics that you were saying in that, I knew some people that was like, "Are you listening to this? Because he talking to you. He
right,
he he talking to you. You're going up and down Crenshaw at 36,
right.
wasting gas trying to bust a chick. No. And you older than 36. You more like 46. But
Right.
anyway,
Looking like
but
Keith Sweat.
right,
No disrespect to Keith Sweat.
right.
You thought you was Chris Brown, but you're looking like Keith Sweat. Stop it.
And your doo doo brown. But you know,
Doodle Brown.
but but talk to me, man, because you really impacted the culture, man. And so talk to me about having sessions with Dr. Dre, and also you had sessions with DJ Quick. So what was some of the similarities in those sessions? What were the differences between those two great iconic producers and musicians?
Look, I've worked with the greatest and still getting the opportunity to work with the last of the greatest that are left. You can't compare the schools of Dr. Dre and DJ Quick or Battle Cat or
Mm-hmm.
Madlib or Dilla, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's so many dope cats. I'd be remiss if I forget somebody. Pete Rock, Primo. But when it came to the energy of working with Dre versus Quick, everybody's got the environment of how they create.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very similar because see, people will try to put one above the other. For me, Dre, Quick, Battle Cat, they all there for me. It's just like Dre is that guy. You got to understand who he is
Mm-hmm.
personally to know why he's here. But when you understand the abilities of Battle Cat and Quick, oh my God, and Khalil, let's talk about DJ Khalil.
Whew.
So, you know what I mean? That's beat Buddha for me. Like, but there's this energy when me and Dre get in the studio. Like, even when I pop up from time to time and go see him, I gotta pop up again soon. It's way overdue and all. It's just getting scary with everybody getting older and shit is weird. I don't wanna miss a friend. I don't wanna miss a brother and not get to say I love you. And like Exhibit's birthday was just the other day, and I was talking shit to him. I always call him ugly face and all this different shit. Cause you gotta keep people grounded. So we ain't on no. I'm not. Nobody can be on no
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood shit that is from like where we from. And so
For sure.
Exhibit, it's the same way, man. We be in the studio and it's ignorance, and it's just fun. And the thing with me is like, I just want the dopest shit to happen. I want fun. I want it to be comfortable in the studio. And when me and Dre get in there, it's jokes, it's ignorance, but we dead serious, but it's fun. It has never been a situation where it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like we did some incredible stuff, and it's just fun. And I remember sitting there because the way we originally did grow up, me and Nikki Greer, shouts out to Nikki Greer, had a way more sweet love song to it. And Dre Hurd was like, "That's all right, but we need to do woo woo wham." And I said, "Word," because everybody at the time was doing X, Y, and Z. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
on my lyrical, but I'm like, "Oh, I thought you want that." He's like, "Nah." And then I was working on, man, shouts out to YB, the Cam. YB is Cam's younger brother, and YB actually had everything to do with that record as well with the grow up part. Because
Mm-hmm.
originally he said the grow up parts on it, but it was just
Mm.
sitting there stagnant. Then Dre pulled it up and was like, "Yo, what about this?" And I was like, "Ooh." And then we just started writing it right there on the spot. And that doing Hallelujah too, it's a few songs where it's just you'll never forget that time in the studio with Dre because it's very rare where you can have proper real time to create with that guy because everybody wants to create with this guy. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people want to step on your toes and sabotage and hate and just that's what all that shit was back then for me. And I didn't understand it. And so my first reaction, besides humility, is to turn niggas' faces into juice. So it would get in the way of our creation, but it's beautiful what we made. I remember sitting in there and then Dre getting on the Moog and doing all the fly shit on it. Like that, yeah. And Hallelujah, bringing the choir in. And I remember Dre being nervous. He said, "I'm not," and he was so honest. He took a lot of risk with me, and that's why forever that's my brother. You know what I mean? And news and all that weirdo shit. I always put another movie out there, but that's my brother, and we know. And it's just it's dope. He's like, I don't really do like I don't know. He took a risk, and Hallelujah is a classic. But it was just like he took risk with me, and that's why Dre is who Dre is for me, and the conversations and the things that were instilled, the things that he gets it. And then with Quick, when we in the studio, it's madness. Quick is madness. I love it. Quick is How do you explain it? You watch this guy move on the board so fast, you don't know what he just did. And he'd be like, yo, he'll run out, he'll come in with a bonsai tree. He'll do it's madness, but it's fun, but it's so creative. And by the end of the session, you're gonna come away with something really incredible. But the best part of being in the studio with Dre or Quick or even Battle Cat, because Battle Cat, when me, Battle Cat, and 1500, shouts out to Rance, everybody. We did a song called Nothing Could Be Better with Sugar Free. Shouts out to Sugar Free. And the work with Battle Cat is the same thing, man. It's just it don't get no better than these guys. But to watch them twist the knobs on the board and your voice get doper, the beat get doper. It's like to watch that is what really changed my life with Dre. That's the difference when you look at most producers. Can they mix? Can they really create that energy in that timeless space? And this is when it comes to real record creation. And that's what I've learned and continue to learn from Dre, from Quick, from Battle Cat, from Khalil. It's a few other brothers. Day One is exceptional in that regard. It's a few brothers that are cut from the same cloth, but there's no comparison to their schools. But I'm just grateful. I got to be there and continue to be there. You know what I mean? And to be a part of that and to see it, man, is incredible. I want to stay on subject, but it's dope. It's too much to explain, but
I
I hope
got you.
it makes sense. But it's just it's fun, man. It's fun. They'll make it seem like something else. It's not. Dre is so peace and gracious, and so like he's so sensitive. Like we sharing that. He's very sensitive to energy going left. He's like, what? You don't like it? You know what I mean? Like he really want cats to be in it. It's dope. It's dope how much big kids they are. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people miss when they really understand what this music is about and who these individuals are. They're big ass kids, and they've been creating joy and moments for us for a long time, even through the midst of their own pain and struggles and judgments, being in front of the cameras and in the newspapers. Like it's a very hard life to live. And that's another thing they taught me, the balance of family, business, and your personal life, and how those areas can get blurred and they can run out of control. And for me, that was that deciding moment again. Do I really want to be a superstar and lose the price of my soul? Do I really want to take this ride and compromise my integrity, my self-respect? No, my morals, my intestinal fortitude and connection to God. And that's where I had to be like, nope. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. When you think about it, I love these guys too much. I love the music. I love the people. I love the truth. The minute I betray that, I'm a hypocrite, and everything I've done doesn't matter then. So that's how I kept it. You know what I mean? And that's the blessings of being around individuals like that, because you'll learn if you really pay attention and listen, and you decide for yourself what's most important. And that would be the things Dre would instill in me. Be like, yo, you're young now. You can still go places. I can't go nowhere. X, Y, and Z, and don't do that. Like, but he let me do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I say crazy shit on songs. Like I made him wild and comfortable, but he let me. You know what I mean? He'd be mad. He'd be like, "Why you do that?" I'm like, "I wanted to." And then we argue, whatever. And but that's my brother. That's my big brother. I love him. We were allowed to be real with each other, and that's why we have the deep devotion and connection that we have, because it's bigger than music. I don't ever have to do another song with him to love him like I do and fuck with him on 1 zillionth. You know what I'm saying? Of the power, because of what he did for my life and my family's life and other individuals, the things he
Right.
did for other people on my request. Priceless.